My name's Mike Finnegan, Finnegan. I'm here today with Jeff Anderson, and we filed a lawsuit this morning on behalf of Jane Doe 23 against Robert Thurner and the Archdiocese of St. Paul, Minneapolis. I applaud Jane Doe 23 for coming forward. She's a courageous woman who up until about a week ago felt that she was alone. She suffered. She thought that she was the only one that had been sexually abused by Robert Thurner. Over the course of the last weeks, she saw some of the media accounts about what the Archdiocese and this Archbishop have been doing recently, their failures to protect kids. After seeing that, she Googled Thurner's name for the first time about a week ago. And she learned at that point that the Archdiocese knew that Thurner had abused kids before he ever got to her parish. So courageously, she told a family friend for the first time in her life, that she had been sexually abused as a child by Robert Thurner. What she found out, and what we know in the documents that we have, is that in 1982, the Archdiocese and its top officials found out that Thurner had sexually molested a child. Thurner admitted to the top officials in the Archdiocese that he had sexually molested a child, that he provided pornography to a child, and he provided alcohol to a child. He admitted that to the top officials in the Archdiocese. So all of the top officials of the Archdiocese knew in 1982 that Robert Thurner had sexually molested a child. Here's one of the documents that we provide in the press package today. This is a memo from November 11th, 1982, from Archbishop Roach to Father Carlson and Monsignor Hayden, where Archbishop Roach admits that he met with Father Thurner, who admitted to him that he had a sexual relationship with a 16-year-old boy, and that he'd also purchased liquor for that boy. At that point in 1982, the Archdiocese and its top officials made a choice. They chose to protect their own reputations and to protect Father Thurner's reputation, rather than looking out for the well-being of children. They kept it secret that Father Thurner was a child molester. They didn't report it to the police, and they didn't warn any of the parishioners or the public of the risk that Father Thurner posed. They allowed him to stay at St. John the Evangelist in Hopkins for approximately another 6 months after they knew that he had molested a child. After that time, Stacy, you put up the next one, please. And then in May 1983, Roach sent a letter to Father Thurner and moved him to a new parish. Effective June 15th, 1983. They moved him to St. Joe's in West St. Paul. They didn't tell anyone at St. Joe's that Father Thurner was a child molester. They didn't warn any of those families, any of those children. And tragically, that parish is where Jane Doe 23 and her family met Father Thurner. And at that time, Jane Doe was a 7 to 9-year-old girl, and Father Thurner in the family home sexually molested Jane Doe 23. Thurner was at St. Joe's in West St. Paul from 83 until 86, and then he was moved after that. First he was moved to St. Edward's in Bloomington. He was only there for a short while, approximately 6 months, and then after that he was moved to St. Therese in St. Paul. None of those parishes were informed of what he had done. At no time did the Archdiocese and any of these top officials inform police that Father Thurner had admitted that he molested a child. In 1991, there was another courageous young man who was sexually molested by Father Thurner, who came forward to this office. He was represented by Jeff. They filed suit in December of 1991. It wasn't until that moment in time that Father Thurner was removed from a parish and removed from his access to children. Jane Doe 23 came here today and filed this lawsuit because she doesn't want this to happen to anyone else. And what really needs to happen here for Jane Doe 23, for this community, and for our children, they need from this Archbishop and this Archdiocese is action. Not more words, not another review board. What this Archdiocese has done in the past, even up until a week or two ago, is give us more words. Archbishop Nines said, apologized. He said he made a mistake. He said, we'll do better. In 2002, his predecessor, Harry Flynn, who was then one of the people in charge of child sex abuse for all the bishops in the country, made a similar pledge and a similar promise. They created the Dallas Charter at that point. They had at that point they had a policy, a written policy, some more written words. They said, we'll do better. Sadly, as we found out from the Waymeyer case, from the John Shelley case, and the Michael Keating case, is these words are not enough. They don't protect our children. The other thing that survivors need is they need action. And what they don't need here is another review board. In the last few days, I counted the current review boards or consulting agencies that this Archdiocese is using. I've counted 4 different review boards or review panels that this Archdiocese has. They have one that's called the Clergy Review Board. This they started in 2002 under the Dallas Charter. They have the newly created Safe Environment and Ministerial Standards Task Force. This is the Father Witt Task Force. They have a third board that's called the Ministerial Standards Board, which is supposed to assess boundary violations such as providing alcohol to minors or having sex with adults. And lastly, they have an outside law firm that's supposedly reviewing their files. They've had these boards before, and there are undoubtedly on each one of these boards well-intentioned, well-meaning people, but tragically these boards haven't worked. These reviews haven't worked. The problem with each one of these is that the only information that these boards and these people are provided has to come from the Archdiocese, from the Archbishop. The Archbishop is in control of who gets appointed to these boards, what information they get, what information they don't get, and ultimately each one of these boards and panels have no power. They have zero power. It's ultimately up to the Archbishop to decide what to do. Instead leads us to the question of what action. What action should the Archbishop and this Archdiocese do? There are 3 things that they need to do. First, they need to release the names of the 33 credibly accused priests in this Archdiocese. There are at least 33 as of 2004 that were credibly accused of sexually molesting minors. All those names need to be released to the public. Second, they need to release the files. There are secret files on each one of those 33 priests so that the public, parishioners, and our community can know what happened in this Archdiocese and what decisions were made. Lastly, what this Archbishop and the Archdiocese must do to take action is to rework the way that they look at every single case of child sex abuse. What they need to do on each one of these is change the standard so that the main standard is the safety of children, so that each decision that they make should be viewed through the lens of what is the safest approach for children in our community and at our parishes. What we've seen in the Waymire, Shelley, and Keating cases, and the Father Turner case revealed today, is that the Archdiocese has been too concerned about their reputation and about avoiding scandal instead of protecting children. Each decision from here on in should be made by asking the question, what should we do to best protect our children in our communities and in our parishes? And if they answer that question, I think that each one of these situations, the recent situations that we've seen, and the Turner case today, would have ended up much different.
We hear this sorrowful account repeated is how familiar it is to all of us, and how it reveals to us that this not only happened in 1980 under Archbishop Roach, Auxiliary Bishop Carlson, now Archbishop Carlson, and other top officials, but it has continued under Archbishop Flynn and to the present time in real time. And as sorrowful and sad as it is to share these sorrowful events with you, it's even scarier to know that nothing has changed when it comes to the administration of this Archdiocese. And until it is, we all live in fear for our kids.